Where will we see the comments? Okay. Okay. All right, let's just do it. We'll figure it out. I'll pop it up on my other computer.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because it's like it pops up on my browser. Do I have to like download the app? I tried. This is horizontal, but it's showing me upside down. Is it showing me any different?
Yeah, no, you're sideways.
Huh? Let me see. Maybe it is locked. Yep, it is. No, I'm the only one working you at tech here. That's why I'm wondering why Ozzy, the IT guy, delegated to you.
He really wanted to do it, man. He said he had this software. Maybe experimenting was the not right choice.
you see me horizontal now, right?
Yeah.
If Fadash said it looks awesome.
Wait, we're live?
Yeah, I can see you guys. I have the volume off.
Yeah,
it looks like you are live.
We can't hear Ramsey though. I see him talking, but we can't hear him though.
Where I don't have a notification that we're live. How do I find it?
I have the YouTube channel.
So did you?
Well, I just see Ozzy and Kareem.
All right.
Okay, hang on. I can't see myself. I cannot tell that we're live.
What is going on?
All right. Well, if we're live, they're going to hear us like all confused. Well, I want to see the comments. Hang on. Kareem, you want to kick it off?
Sure. Welcome, everybody, to the post-semifinal. First time us going live after a final matchup in what I think many people believe was our greatest semifinal final game in our 7 seasons that we've been doing NMAA semi-pro. What a game. Welcome to everybody who's joined. I can't see who's joined. This is Rumsey's got some special Streamlabs thing going here. It's complicated, but welcome everybody. And my Lord, what a game did we just witness? We got the champ himself. Gindy is here with us today. We needed somebody from the game. We got Rumsey and we got the commish who was live streaming the entire time. NMAA, we keep evolving, baby.
Straight up. All right. I see it now too, Kareem. I see the Kareem, you want to mute?
I'm on mute.
Never mind. Ignore me. This thing is throwing me off. So what you guys are seeing right now is a brand new experiment with a software tool that none of us have used except for Ramsey. And we did it all live. It's a lag. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing you talking right now on the live stream, Kareem, and I guess it's a lag.
Whoa.
All right. Sweet. Is Gindy on a potato? That's a comment from Footage.
I missed the potato head.
Oh, man. All right. Well, first time doing it, we're always gonna have Keeks. If anybody saw we lost Gindy. Did we lose Gindy?
We lost Gindy.
Yeah. All right. We lost Gindy. He's always the first one with technical difficulties.
Gindy, man.
If anybody remembers, the very first podcast we did 4 years ago, when we had Muhammad on, oh my goodness, that one was a mess. I must have had to do like 100 cuts. You know those little NMAA podcast commercial breaks we do, like 10-second little bites?
Uh-huh.
There's like 30 of those in there because of how much editing I had to do. It was a disaster.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we'll figure it out. But look, we got the champion on, Gindy. We wanted to talk about the championship game, like Kareem just said. Epic final. Can you guys remember? This is season 5 or 6 of the Semi-Pro League? 6, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's 7. But
it's 7 now.
I might be wrong. Yeah, I think it's 7.
Have we had a championship game this epic?
This was the best one, Ozzy.
Yeah.
I don't think we had a championship game this close though. Anyhow, like even in like the 6 finals that we had, like they were over, halfway through the 4th, which is done.
Yeah, if I'm in blowouts, haven't they? Or like not close, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean we had several blowouts, and I think like the closest one would have been like a Like I said, man, like it would have just been like a close entering the fourth and then just like over halfway through.
Yeah.
We're in the 7th season right now.
7th season. Okay. Well,
Yep.
I mean, this to our memory, and Kareem, I mean, this is the best one I think we've ever seen. Okay, we got some comments. Sid, as usual, has already started talking trash. He's saying we're old. A couple people are asking, Hamza and Sid are asking, where's Ramsey? We want Ramsey on the live.
Let's go. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Let's go.
Okay. Anyways,
He's a fan favorite.
Huh?
Ramsey's a fan favorite, man. He's entertaining.
He is. Yeah, he is. So I mean, so we wanted to get on, just talk about it, man. The championship game 74-70. The YouTube live stream is now up. So you can go check it out for the championship game. I just saw it went through and it's uploaded, so you can go watch it now if you want to watch it. Yeah, Q texted me. He really wanted to see it because he's still trying to rack his brain how they lost the game in the fourth quarter.
My Lord. I'm watching it back in real time right now. As we're doing this, I'm watching it back, taking notes. What a game, man. What a fourth quarter. This is man, this one's gonna hurt to watch back if you're a Winstonite.
If you're a Winstonite. Let's do the box score real quick. So Malik, obviously the finals MVP. Isaiah Zay Nicholson, 27 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. I don't know how many of those points he had in the fourth quarter, but I feel like half of them were in the fourth quarter. I mean, you want to talk about a guy in the second half? Yeah.
Good
and Tony is one of the more interesting players in NMAA, man. He's always surrounded by a lot of energy, a lot of trash talk. He didn't play much in the third quarter. True to form, Abdel loves to yank somebody and sit them, for whatever strategy he's doing. But then in the fourth quarter, Tony finished with 23 points. I think Tony scored a lot of that in the fourth quarter too.
Yeah, he had a big fourth quarter. So credit to Tony, man. So he like I said, I'm trying to take like play-by-play notes here, man. So they were with under 8 to go, it was 58-54, and Tony walked. So he was bringing up the ball and then walked right into a deep 3 over Debo.
Yeah,
like it was deep and it was contested. Big 3, 58-57. And then that was big. I mean, like you guys were starting to really grow into that game. But that was big. I think that one got Tony going. And then not too long after that, he actually had an and one, a tough and one. He didn't convert the free throw, but he had a tough and one. And him and Isaiah in that fourth quarter were ridiculous.
Yeah. Isaiah, I think most of his shots were to the rim, and like I don't know how many euros and step throughs that he did, just attacking the rim at will.
Yep.
Yeah. Big shots. They combined for that huge comeback. But going back to the Winstonites, I mean, would you say it was like 8 minutes ago when they scored?
Yeah, it was 58-54. So they are up 4. I mean, it was close. I mean, like that fourth quarter, it was close.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were up 4 with under 8 to go. And
yeah.
Then I think they hit a point where the last field goal that they hit was that 3 from Percy. If you guys remember, Debo kicked it out to Percy, and Percy hit a top of the key 3.
Yeah.
And that put them up 67-61.
Uh-huh.
And then they just didn't score for a long stretch after that. After that, we had the Tony and 1. We had a Jamal turnover. And then we had the Zay and 1, which was the intentional foul, which we'll talk more about. And then after that point, it was just like Malik. And then, Malik really, Winstonites didn't score for a long stretch of time after that. By the time they scored again, like they were playing catch up.
Yeah. And you mentioned it right there in that run. It's 67-61 and then final score. So it's a 13-3 run to close the game and win the championship. 3 intentional fouls called, I don't know, in the last 3-4 minutes of the game.
We got to talk about that, Ozzy.
Yeah.
What's an intentional foul? Like, what's the definition? Like, how do the refs define that?
Yeah. And so to the letter of the law, they made the right call. If you wrap around without playing a ball, and it looks like all 3 of those were wraparounds without playing the ball. Maybe the one that could have been let go was the one on Q. But I think when he grabbed, it looked like he grabbed, I forgot who he fouled, Isaiah. It also looked like he hit him in the neck. And so they called a contentional foul there. That one was questionable, I thought. But they called it because it looked like he grabbed him with both hands and then hit it. While he was grabbing him, he hit him in the neck.
Because Zay was already he was already going up. And so that's why it looked like it was around his shoulder and his neck. But like Q was just trying to wrap him up. I think he was actually trying to protect him there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about those calls because and we do this often in the season, like right before a quarter is about to end, we'll take an intentional foul. But why isn't there 2 free throws and the ball back on that? There's a lot of times where they'll rush the ball handler and just kind of hug him, grab him just to take the foul. So I don't know. I was very confused about these intentional fouls, honestly.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the answer to that is the difference in the example you gave, Kareem, is that in that play, you're still going for the ball. So you hack them, but it's near the ball. In both of those, but I mean, I philosophically believe that you should take into account what time in the game. It's a championship.
100%.
But as it stands, though, that's not the case. And one of those 3 was called against us. And I believe again in another playoff game was called against us as well, including at the same time the regular season game where they called the delay of game on Zay. So that time at what time in the game, what kind of game it is not held into account. And I think the only one that could be argued is really the Q one. But again, you can't really argue intention. You have to just go by what the outward is, and the outward is he grabbed him down. I don't think they necessarily tackled him. I agree with you; it's a tough call, but I still think it's the right call.
Because even the first one, because I think calling the first one on BG because he was wrapping up Fellow. Fellow got the ball. He's in the paint, and we know he converts those at a high percentage. So I think BG, just like people were trying to wrap up Shaq as soon as he caught it, don't let him go up with it. I think that's what BG was trying to do. So for that to be called an intentional foul, you set the precedent at that point. That all right, hey, if you wrap him up, we're gonna call it. So then every other one after that point was an intentional foul. So anyhow, that's it sucks that we're spending a lot of time talking about that in such a great game.
Yeah,
but it really, really had an impact on the momentum there. Malik was already starting to kind of grow into the game. Yeah. But like I said, they went from the score at that point, man. It was 67-63. And then Zay hit the and one. So 67-65. And then he hit the 2 free throws, 67-67. And then immediately following that, Debo intentional fouled Tony. And then Tony hit both of those free throws. So it was 67-69. So it went from 67-63 to 67-69 on these calls.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah. The only thing I'll say to that, my 2 thoughts. One, if you do wrap up from behind without a play on the ball, it's hard.
Exactly.
That's tough. It is an intentional foul. My second thought to that is kind of at the situation in the game, fourth quarter of a championship game, do you make that call? And that's when it gets really subjective.
But until that's a rule, Ozzy, until it's a rule that you should consider what game and what time it is in the game uniformly, I'm for that. But as it stands, that's not the case. A call is a call is a call is a call.
But again, that's never going to be a rule in itself. That's really on the referee to not to not call that. Anyhow, I mean it's tough. It's tough that again that we're talking about that, but it doesn't take away from again Malik, you guys. Again, Isaiah and Tony, and a lot of the forced turnovers that you guys had. I was going through through these plays, and a lot of it was, it was forced turnovers. Jamal in that fourth quarter I'm counting 4 turnovers in the fourth. Yeah,
well, and that's I think that's the next thing right there. And the intentional fouls, they sucked. But there was a number of turnovers at the end of the game by the Winstonites that was part of this implosion. Fellow had a big one. Q had one. Q, I think, had 2. I want to say Q had 2. And at the end of the game, also, when they were running, and I forgot what the score was when they called a timeout, advance to half court, Q did a backcourt violation.
Yep. Yeah.
It doesn't happen with Q. So it's crazy. Fellow was killing them. Fellow finished with 22 points, drove into the paint, Gendy, were you guarding him on that one? I remember we were talking about it afterwards.
No, well, I was so sick of watching freaking Q drop bombs. At that point, I switched off of him. But
Yeah.
he went on a run, and honestly, to that point, I think they stopped feeding him. I don't know why they went away from him when he was attacking like that. And I do want to note that there is W's in the chat, baby.
Yeah. Are you seeing the chat? Yeah. Arib said,
Yeah.
there's a comment by Arib that said Gendy plays basketball like he's on cocaine. So that's
I mean, yeah, that's very true.
yeah. But
honestly, Ozzy, I woke up this morning like I don't care about your feelings. I just made a decision. I woke up feeling grateful. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm going to this championship. If you can't get hyped for the championship, something wrong with you. It's an opportunity like you don't know. Plenty of great players, and it's so tough to get there because there's such good teams every year.
That game started like very tense. I felt like it was low scoring. I think it was 27-22 at halftime, something like that. It wasn't. It was like a offensive struggle. I thought the game was going to finish low 50s, kind of like a Mutta King game, right? I thought it was going to low scoring, but then, oh my God, it picked up. That second half was night and day. It picked up in intensity.
It was so fun, man.
Yeah, I don't know, Kareem, if you could tell from the live stream, it was intense.
It was intense, man. And me and Amir, so it was my son's first birthday party, by the way. So that's why I couldn't be there. But I'm sitting there on our phone, right? Me and Amir are watching it together. And shout out, by the way, to do it live streamed and to do it, from the semifinal. I absolutely love that. I could not make it Friday night, couldn't make it today. And the fact that I can watch like essentially the whole game live stream, engage in the chat with everybody, hear Ozzy's commentary. Cool. It was awesome, man. I like this has got to stay.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, man. Like watching that, third quarter, that second half, it got really intense and it was just back and forth. People were stepping up, taking, clutch shots, clutch plays. Malik, you guys switched defenses multiple times in the game. And I actually like that because, a lot of coaches will start a game, say like in a 2-3 zone, and if it doesn't work, they'll go to a man, and then they'll never go back to the zone. But I kind of like, giving those different looks throughout the game. Like you go to man, and then you go back to zone, but then you go back to man, depending on the lineups. Same. And I saw that you guys did that, and I don't know, I appreciate it. That was that helped you guys kind of throw them off a little bit.
You know what?
And that's a big shout out.
What I noticed was when you guys were playing zone, Tony was in the middle and Gendy was out on the wing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what's going on? But honestly, when they played us, right? I'm reading Reed's comment, but when they
what did he say, man? I can't see these comments, guys.
There's like where
Ramsey's a fan favorite.
No, but when they played us, that quarterfinals, Gendy was out most of the time, and Tony played in the middle of the zone, and they played really good. I mean, we honestly just needed someone running baseline, right? But I mean, I guess you guys stuck with it, and credit to you, Gendy, for being what's the word, like humble enough, I guess, to be like, yo, I'm not, it's just not like I can play other positions than just low block, you know what I'm saying? And you saw that it was working, and you said, hey, let's just keep with it,
When I saw it,
I
saw it, Ramsey, I made a comment on the live stream, like, I don't think I've ever seen Tony play middle before. So I was a little confused. I was like, I don't know. I was uncertain. Was this the right move?
And I mean, it was. He knows Debo's game, right? No. And one thing that Tony was doing really well, and even against us, is that when he's in the middle of the zone, he steps up, right? He's pressing the guy that gets it in the middle, right? And credit to Gendy and I think Daniel is when that middle man steps up, they come and collapse under them. Under Tony, that way there's no easy baseline looks, right?
Yeah.
But again, the one thing, bro, there was one play during that game. You were by yourself. I think you got a little leak out, and they
tell you.
passed it to you. You're literally by yourself, and I
I'll tell
promise you,
you.
bro, you had a smile on your face as you were going up for the layup.
I'll tell you,
And
bro,
then,
what happened. A
and then you
couple of
blew it,
things
bro.
happened. I'll tell you what happened. First of all, there's three things that happened. First of all, there was a gin in that basket because that was the second time you seen the other one when I was running baseline and it literally went all the way down and came out. So
Yeah.
that's the first issue that occurred. The second issue, BG, great friend, excellent point guard, monster in the paint. But my dude is not QB1. You know what I'm saying? If she just hits me on the left shoulder, I'm AJ Brown and I'm collecting and taking the trash out on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I caught it's me. It's on me. I can't blame him. But at the end of the day, I just I got too excited. I didn't know I was going to be that open. I was just like, what's going on here? And yeah. And, the third thing was that I thought I was going to dunk it, but then I remembered I couldn't because I was watching Zay so much, and the dude is just flying like gravity doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Bro,
So
I'm telling you, you guys couldn't see it, but from literally courtside, I'm looking at him, and he's just like got this biggest smile, like you suckers, like I got this.
well,
I
my
didn't
mom was there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do the photo op too because efficiency and stuff. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just going back again to the
We just lost Ozzy. Oh no.
We just lost him. Oh no.
Man down.
There he is. There he is.
Man
He's
down.
back.
Q, and it was a steal. I mean, I don't know how many steals you guys got in the last few minutes, Gendy, but it looked like with all the intentional fouls and your guys' momentum and Zay and Tony, that Winston-Ice got rattled. And this was an experienced team. My summary of the Winston-Ice was you got Debo, Q, you got Jamal, Percy, Fellow. These are veterans that know how to play the game. And it really felt like they just got rattled at the end of the game, and it cost them.
Mm-hmm. And it's like people always say, like, look, during the season when you take a loss, you're like, I'm glad that loss is going to help us. And you're like, shut up. Like, you're just trying to make yourself feel better, right? But like, it sounds like a cliche thing to say, but that's real. Like we had been probably if you add up all the points of our losses, I don't think it surpasses 15 from all our losses combined. Usually it's 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. So being in those games over and over again, I felt like when we were, even when we were down 13, like I never felt like we were out of that game. I don't think anybody ever felt like on our team we're out of that game. And once we're within striking distance of 5, it's even though we're down at that point, we felt up. It felt like we were winning.
Gendy, you got people rolling. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yo.
Yeah, it's true. And Suda Gin is very effective, by the way. I didn't read it. That's on me. You know what I'm saying? But can't run them all.
Oh my god.
Reeb is asking, what loss motivated you the most, Gendy?
What loss? That's a great question. I would say probably the Blessed loss. Because it was like, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, it was like a paper cut. When you get a paper cut, you're like, that was so unnecessary. It doesn't hurt a lot, but you're like, why did that even have to happen? And now I have to deal with this annoyance, So it's just like when losses happen that were completely in your control, you just got to look at yourself individually and as a team, like, yo, you got to get better. And then another thing, and this is also not disrespectful, I think a close second is the Mambas loss. Because at the end of the day, it humbled us. Like we were thinking we were all that in the bag of chips, Keenan and Kel orange soda. And then the reality is we got smacked up by the team that hadn't won yet. So it's like, all right, we need to maybe chill and like get some more boards and lock down on D. And I think that set us in the right direction.
I knew somehow I'd make this live stream, but yeah, at least.
Yeah. Hey, you guys played great that game. That's not to take anything. Honestly, like when I saw you guys that game, I'm like, I hope they don't get in the playoffs.
I thought we had it figured out when we beat you guys, and then we didn't. So a lot of same thing with us. And not to talk about the Mamas, but we couldn't finish a few close games. Just imploded at the end, and that's key. I mean, you guys did close the game, and let's go to a couple things y'all did really well. Not only did you get forced turnovers, I'm going to go to the free throws. Isaiah missed his first 2 free throws and then made 6 in a row in the fourth quarter. That's clutch free throw shooting.
Yep.
Yo,
Isaiah?
Arif saying, what about the Wahoosh loss? You want to speak on that?
No, the thing is, the Wahoosh loss is a bit irrelevant because honestly, I wrote it off like it was a tip in, right? So that's a 50-50. So in my mind, it's like, whatever, you can have that one, you know?
First
Like
game
I
of
did
season,
have it
too.
bookmarked. I had it bookmarked in my mind that if I see you guys again, of course, I was pissed. So then when they got eliminated by like, what's it called?
Come on.
Walrus's team? Come on,
Come on, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, then honestly, I felt also we don't believe in karma, but it was nice full circle having them unseating us as Mambas to see them take a nice first round exit when they were having momentum into the playoffs. But that was just kind of nice. I love everybody on that team for real, you know. But did any of us want to see them in the playoffs? No. So thank you, Kamar.
Yo, people in the chat, think twice before you ask a question to Gindi, please. This guy.
Oh man. Well, I mean, again, fantastic finish. The semi-pro league shows again what you do in the regular season doesn't necessarily carry over into the playoffs. NARS last season, 3-game win streak. Still thought I was going to be blessed. Some of us thought it'd be blessed versus Mamas in the final. Some of us really wanted blessed versus Mamas in the final. Ramsey really did because he's still hanging on to the night celebration. But hey, Wahoosh smacked us. Yeah, Wahoosh smacked us. NARS gets hot and smacks everybody else, and they finished with the championship. And same thing here. Malik comes into the playoffs, not really considered. I mean, what were y'all, 5th seed? Not really considered a leading contender, right? You just like respect them, but not really a contender, not to me anyway. And when the playoffs started, but then you guys just you earned it. You beat everybody up, and you got the W's 3 in a row.
You know what? Sorry, just to that point, real quick. I think that actually helped us a lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kareem. I believe when you won your championship, you did so from the 5th seeded position as well. It kind of takes an element of the pressure off. Don't worry about us. We're the 5th seed. All of a sudden, Bob, you're in the finals. That's all I need. This one game. Let's go home.
Yeah, that is true.
Versus,
And
like, 1 and 2 gets a lot of pressure.
Uxa and Blessed 2 seasons back to back. It's tough, right? It's tough when you're the 1 seed and you got a lot of. You feel like you got a lot of pressure, and you feel like the whole crowd is behind the upset. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of teams can fold.
Yeah, they are. The 1 seed is never liked. My team is never liked. It's just how it is, man. They want to see certain teams lose. This season, Uxa was one of them. Yeah.
So in our 7 seasons, guys, the 1st seed has won 3 of the 7. So there's been more champs that haven't been, 1st seeders that have gone all the way through.
That's still not bad though, Kareem. I would say with the parity that we have, that's actually higher than.
No, you're right. You're right, but Kareem, of the other 4, it's not like they were 2nd and 3rd, right? We know 2 of them. Me and you were 5th, right? So then, what about the other 2? Were they also on the bottom half of the tier?
So the other champs were 2nd place, 3rd place, and then 2 5th place.
And 2 5th place.
Yep.
Yeah.
NARS
like you guys said, whoever's ready for it.
Going to Sid's comment, all caps, NARS was always going to win. It's easy to say that when you've actually won the title. Yeah. Keep the camera on.
Areeb was just saying that we should get rid of the bye before the playoffs. I 1000% agree with that. I also want to throw in that motion just to get rid of Friday night playoff games. This is not Friday Night Lights, you know what I'm saying? It's not Austin, Texas.
Friday night,
you know what I'm saying?
The whole vibes are different, man. It's tough.
I like it.
I know it's not. I know a lot of it is out of your control, obviously, and that's just how it works. But man, it just feels different, man. And not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're used. It's like everyone's coming off of work. A lot of pressure of the day. Already hanging on your shoulders, and then you got to go in there. And you're tired, and
I don't mind it, man. I actually enjoy it, man. It's fun. It's like a nightcap, man. It's nice. Friday night.
Yeah.
Like you get to see all your boys. You get to play basketball. It's fun, man. I don't mind it.
Areeb keeps coming in with the questions. He's now asking, Gendi, can you speak on Tony Hu and his finals performance?
Yeah, so I like the Areeb questions, by the way. It's nice. He's like a reporter, live from Kissimmee, Florida. So what I'll say about Tony, the thing is, Tony is like a generator. When the power goes out, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like that three that Kareem was talking about, bro. That three was Zemzem, and we were in the desert. You know what I'm saying? Like there was
How did
nothing at
this
that
stuff
point.
flow off of your dude? How do you do this, man? I love
Bro,
it.
when I saw that, when I saw that go in, I was. And here's the thing I'll say about Tony this year, and also in the finals, he's been much more aggressive attacking the basket. And so I think and this is where you got to give Coach Abdel credit. Besides the fact of your earlier point, Kareem, that he was switching in and out of defense, throwing that changeup in there, he again benched Tony for the exact amount of time at the right time. And Tony responded well to that. It's the second time he responded well. He doesn't put his head down. Boom, he stays in. What happened when he came back? He went live.
Yeah.
So I think he was a big part of the win. He didn't do too much. If you look at the scoring, it's very balanced. Yes, Zay had 27, but BG, Zay, Tony, it was a really nice balance, throughout the season. And I think they were able to maintain that in the playoffs.
And I got to watch the live stream again, but I feel like BG did a good job keeping you guys in the first half. Because we know Tony and Isaiah really took over that second half. BG finished with 16. I think BG first half was scoring buckets for you guys when you guys were struggling to score.
I think the third quarter, especially, I think they were almost about to be. I think it was like a 12-point deficit, and BG was hitting some tough running threes. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them alive.
Yeah.
Just giving them a chance. Because that third quarter, in any game, man, in the third quarter is usually kind of where you lose it, or you
It's so
get back in the
pivotal.
game, you make it close. And I mean, a lot of times with that finals pressure on top of your shoulders as well. Credit to BG, for being that vet and that OG, and what they say, BG with the squeegee. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I kept hearing. So
Man,
Well,
what I appreciate about Malik is that in their last like 3 games, I want to say, they were very, I don't know, dynamic and just like fluid, right? It's like, all right, hey, BG, before the final game was really the guy that was finishing strong. Like BG was like, he was in a nice run of form, like going into the playoffs and going into the final. But they adjust. It's like Malik is like, hey, on the fly, we're gonna do this, right? Or we're Ozzy, like you said, like BG, kept him in it in the first half. And in the second half, it's like, all right, hey, if it was only Isaiah and not Tony there, it wouldn't have been enough. So they needed to have that second person, and they got that in Tony. And it's not like BG was trying to get in there and have FOMO and try to force his way into the party too. It's like, hey, I'm gonna allow these guys to do their thing. And I don't know. Credit to Malik, man. Like they made ballsy calls in their past several games. Again, I like their defensive adjustments. Like their defensive adjustments oftentimes is what flipped the game in their favor. And then they just made clutch plays too. And that's the mark of a champion, right? Winstonites, they were looking comfortable, almost too comfortable. I was hearing that Mustin was dancing on the sidelines with a trophy. So feeling like it was in the bag already. I mean, nah, man.
I heard about that.
Never with Malik. Never with Malik.
Yeah, I heard about that today. We got some questions in the chat. One of them is about Mohsen celebrating with the trophy early. So did you guys see that?
I saw. So I didn't see that. I heard about it after. But one thing I'll say about that is I don't believe in coincidences. And what I was told was shortly thereafter, after that little, Dance with the Stars, Dance with the Trophies little cameo, which I agree with Kareem is absolutely shockingly bold. Like, it's not like you ever had us 10, 15 points, but I was told that right after that was when that play happened with the double intentional foul. So, it's like there's a principle. Humble yourself, you'll be lifted up. You know what I'm saying? Lift yourself up, you might get humbled.
Yeah, I did. I learned Mohsen is a very emotional guy, and he went on that. There's some high. What I did see was during that implosion when they lost the lead, Mohsen definitely got very upset. I think I saw a chair get hit. I think I saw a Gatorade bottle go flying across the gym.
Oh, God.
He was frustrated. Yeah, he was very upset. Highs and lows.
Gandhi, you got another question, man.
Go ahead.
given the toxicity of Mr. Koo is labeled to have, do you think this changes his draft stock into next season?
So Kuka Doncic. Yeah. So the thing about Tony, right? Like, I do think his draft stock changes. I mean, here's a fun fact that I didn't know until today. Tony's been to 4 straight finals.
Yeah.
Five,
4 straight finals is no
four or
joke.
five? Is that
He was saying
I,
4.
four?
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 5 is outrageous. I mean, 4 is outrageous, to be honest with you. So I think there's something to be said. Now, like with most players, each player is only going to work as well as the team that you've built around them. A certain player can have a blowout season, amazing season, just because the right foundations for them to succeed are there. So I think that with Tony, that's definitely part of it. And I think that you got to understand people communicate differently, right? And when some people, they take, certain communications as they would understand how they communicate. But if you know Tony, you can just understand that like he has a strong passion to win and that he is going to, be very assertive about that. Are you going to disagree? Is that going to cause clashes? Yeah, we fought all the time. All of us, you know what I'm saying? But it was like a sibling fighting. It was a fighting like, look, this is somebody who's spending hours off the court thinking about the game, caring about the game. At the end of the day, even if you disagree with someone, you can respect that. So I think that, and that's a shout out to Coach Abdel. If you have a coach who's going to be involved and engaged in making, because that's an active process, making the team work. If you have that and you have the right pieces balanced, because you go overstack scoring or you overstack defense, is going to be a problem. I do think Tony goes up. I don't think he becomes a first round pick. I say he probably goes maybe mid-second.
Tony is definitely owning it. He posted today on IG about him, being the toxic teammate, and teammates don't like him because he calls them out, holds them accountable. But he's like, if you're going to play with me, it's going to be tough. He demands you to play. And I've played with guys like that in the past, way back in the day, where they were not good teammates. They were bullies. I remember this one particular guy. This is back in my old Charleston days. I'm going way back now, when I was at this University of Citadel. And it was this one guy who was just a bully. I mean, never said a nice word to me at all on our team. But he was a baller and he just wanted to win, and he was always pushing everybody. And so I feel like Tony's really, really accepted this reputation that he's developed. And he's succeeding. I mean, I think you said it, 4 straight finals. So if you can handle it, you got some thick skin. Maybe there's a formula there with Tony.
Hey,
and I'll say this as Tony's teammate for probably 5 seasons, because I've had him in pro twice. I've been on the same team with him in semi-pro as well. The thing with Tony, right? He is loud, and a lot of times he don't say like the nicest words. You're like, damn, why'd you say that at that time? Or like he'll say like, and everyone can kind of hear it, and it maybe cause a lot more attention to the problem than it has to be, right? But I mean, if we're talking scores, there's probably not a better okay, I don't know that many shooters, right, in semi-pro that can shoot from that deep, that consistently, like Tony Koo.
Yeah.
The main thing I would say with having him on the team is the defense. And I think this playoffs, right, I don't know who talked to him, but he took a huge, that was like his thing. Oh, yo, you don't think I played defense? Look, I think he had a caption on IG, like on one of his stories, like, that was my defensive strategy, and look who led the team in reboundings. Like, that's something that he hears and he's trying to get better at. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you get that type of Tony Koo, sometimes, you can take what he says like as a negative, right? Like, and how he says it, but there's a lot of good, and sometimes the goods outweigh the bad. You know what I'm saying? So, he is a dog.
Sid is saying, as a former teammate with Tony in semi-pro, he was great and a competitor.
Yeah. The only thing you got to do with Tony is, if you're playing on his team, just keep a couple of extra half gallons of Ben and Jerry's in the freezer, because there's going to be times where you leave practice crying about thinking about what Tony said to you, and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? And then you do that, and then you move on.
Oh man. Let's talk about talk about the fact that in our championship game we had 2 rookie coaches.
Yeah.
That
For
blew
sure.
me away.
Can I also just interject for a second and just give a quick shout out to Daniel too before we go there. Daniel is one of these unsung heroes, and Ozzy, you mentioned it in your commentary, man. But like, I think that to me, he was so essential to our playoff run. Like when we needed him most, he honestly just came up so clutch. Doesn't talk, just locks down on defense, gets rebounds. Such a hustle player, such a positive energy player. Honestly, he was like the heart
Very,
of the
very
team.
nice guy too. I mean, he
Yeah.
hit the
Very
game
nice.
winner against us, right?
Yep.
And another shout out is to Jay on Winston's team, Winston Knights, Jay Esquire, bro. I mean, he's known like you've known him around the league, and I said this to him many times. You know him around the league, right? As like that 7th, 8th round player, right? And he's gonna get you some buckets every now and then, but he's not gonna play a lot of minutes. And this season, bro, this guy has probably been one of the most clutch players that in NMAA. I mean, when we played against them, right? They didn't have Debo, they didn't have Fellow, and they didn't have who there. I think they were missing one other, but they didn't have Debo and Fellow, right? And they still stayed in the game. He hit a tough clutch 3, and I think against Uksa too, if I'm not mistaken, he hit a clutch 3 as well. Or is it Uksa
Against
or
us, man, in
oh
the first
Multipin? There you
round.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
His 3 essentially won the game for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would have won today too. He hit that late 3 that put them up. If it wasn't for that
Yeah.
meltdown, that was a huge 3 at the end by
Yeah,
him.
he hit 2, 3. He was 2 for 3 in the finals. I mean, that's the biggest stage, and he went out there and he did his thing. And I mean, Ozzy, you want to speak on the injury he sustained?
Yeah, Josh broke his nose on an elbow from Tony late in the game. So he got knocked out, and he had already hit, I think, 2 big threes there in the second half. So he did break his nose. What's funny is he texted me a couple hours after the game today, and hadn't even gone to see the doctor yet. He's at his son's tryout, and he was apologizing for losing his temper. And he wasn't texting me to complain or anything like that. He was sorry that he lost his temper, and then he was thanking us for the league and saying how much he loves it. And this guy still hasn't seen the doctor yet to fix his nose, so it was pretty impressive.
Dang,
He's
man.
gonna look like me.
Speedy recovery to him, man. That sucks that he's got to go through that now. But he's a great guy, and yeah, he definitely deserves a shout out for his play this season. But yeah, no, going back to like your original
Right. Exactly.
question about the coaches. Yeah, we already talked about Abdel and some of the ballsy calls that he's made, and the fact that he's got them all the way through to being the ultimate champions at the end. But Marcin, man, this guy, he was supremely offended that he didn't get Coach of the Year. Yeah, man, and he's a unique character. Like you said, he's very passionate. And he really took to coaching like he was very committed, and he was very into it. He played the part, and originally I think we had doubts. It's like, all right, hey, he's got a team full of veterans. He's got guys like Q, guys like Debo, he's got Fellow. Like, can he actually get through to these guys? And I think we doubted that in the beginning, but clearly, like, he was able to get through them, to manage them. Got him all the way to the finals. That's not a fluke. Yeah. So, shout out to him, man. For 2 rookie coaches to make it all the way through. All of us, sitting in Cancun watching the live streams. It hurts, but it's awesome to have new coaches in the league, new blood, and and for these guys in the league to play for new coaches as well. It's a good experience for everybody.
I want to give him a shout
While
out.
we're talking about, sorry, go ahead. No, but I was saying while we're talking about coaches, I think ours needs a shout out too, because correct me if I'm wrong, he was also a co-coach when Uksa went to the finals. And I just, personally, he is always there. He's a second voice, kind of like, helping strategize and just helping keeping the team at bay. So I just thought he did a really great job in assisting with the coaching as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he won the title. Yeah, absolutely. Also, shout out to Mohsen. The 3-point contest happened because of him, because he really wanted it. And we haven't had it in a couple of years. I don't remember the last time. Primarily because nobody, like, I don't want to set it up. Like, it's, Dev and I have gotten really like lazy with certain things. Like that's why we don't have all-star games either. We're just like always burned out by the end of the season. So it hasn't happened. He really wanted one, so he made it happen, which I'm very glad for because it's the only thing I took away from this season. So yeah, but shout out to him. He set it all up, got the attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be back next season. He's moving to Saudi Arabia for he's saying for a year and a half, so it's going to be a while until we see him.
Yeah.
But hopefully he comes back and he wants to coach again. And we're gonna miss him and his antics, man. Like it really made this season very entertaining.
He sure did. He sure did.
So let me ask you guys, as watching the game, obviously going in, I think that the favorites, that they were the favorites. At what point in the game did you say, you know what, I think Malik's going to win this, if at all?
When Debo did the intentional foul, I said, that's game right there. Before that, in my opinion, I was honestly like, I wanted Winston Nice to win going into the game, but I'm like an underdog type of guy.
Right in my face. I'm right here. Just saying.
Y'all beat us, so whatever. But I'm an underdog type of guy, man. And then during the game, I found myself just rooting naturally for you guys to win, and rooting for Zay to just keep doing what he was doing, being aggressive. And that's what he did. But when Debo did that intentional foul, in my head, I'm like, damn, that's, in my opinion, game. Because they got, 2 shots, then y'all got the ball, and then you guys were up with like a couple minutes left, right? All they needed was that one turnover, I think that Jamal did, right? Or Fellow maybe, one of those 2 turnovers, right? And that was game. That was it right there. And that's where, yeah.
Why did he do that though? I mean,
it looked like he was trying to foul him, and they didn't blow the whistle. So then he grabbed him, and that is where.
Yeah. But why? But why though? Like, because like even like when he went past him, watching it back, Q and Josh, they were right there. They were there in the paint. So it's not like it was like an easy 2 points that he was trying to stop them from. And they had 4 team fouls, so that foul was their 5th foul too. So like even if it wasn't intentional, he was going to the free throw line for 2 shots. I do not understand that decision.
What was the score, Kareem, when Debo did the intentional foul? Did you remember?
Yeah. Let's see.
Down 7, I think we're down 7 or down 9.
No, it was so no. So Zay converted his intentional foul free throw to tie the game 67-67.
Okay.
And then the very following play, Debo did that.
So
they took the lead. Yeah.
That was the thing
and
that
then
popped
Tony
in my
made
head.
2 free throws.
Yeah.
Put him up 69-67. And then the very next play after that, Jamal turned it over, trying to force feed it to cutting Fellow.
Yeah.
And then Zay got out in transition and then fed it to Tony. And then you guys were up 67-71. So like Rumley said, like after that point, like the crumble began. Like the collapse began.
The thought that popped in my head, Kareem, when he did it was why, and not just the intentional foul. Like, why was he doing that? Why did he foul?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm perplexed.
I'm perplexed too. What was the point of fouling when it's tied? I didn't understand the point of the foul, so I'm questioning that. I thought that was not. Right, it was a turning point.
Even right. Even if he didn't think it was an intentional foul, that was still foul that put him into the bonus because that was the 5th foul.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what was the point? What was the thinking?
And I think at that point, man, it was just a complete mental breakdown
from a vet,
like. From one of the OGs, and it happens. But Ozzy, I hate to ruin the flow right here, but Jayfree is saying, how does a former pro MVP fall to the 5th round? And you want to take over that?
Ozzy, can I speak as your legal representative?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, it's fine. We can indict Ozzy on that experience, that conspiracy. We just have to indict another 8 coaches because every single one of them passed up on them for 4 rounds. So if you have that question, then find a nice big mirror and look at it. And the reason is people are stuck in the past ways. There's context, there's nuances. Isaiah's been working off a foot injury for a long time. He was recovering. And anytime you come off an injury, it's the mental aspect as well. So same thing. Omar Arroyo went 5th as well. So it's like sometimes guys will not really look at where you're at or what you're capable of and just be so glued to a particular season. That season could have been shot because of the guys you were playing with, whatever it wasn't the right dynamic. You were injured, your personal life. I think, I personally, another motion, I want to move to have workouts. You know how like NBA, you have invites. So before the season, just have invites, have guys come play 3-on-3 or whatever, get a live look at guys. But honestly, Isaiah really was counted out just because of his past, struggles,
This
and it
might be
helped
the
him.
first time I've seen him play like he did before COVID. I think this is the first time I've seen him like just ball out on
Yeah.
defense and offense, exploding to the rim. He's been relying on the 3-point shot a lot over the last couple of years. Like he almost just said, like there were times when I had to tell him, "Say, start driving. What are you doing? Right? You're playing like me. You just taking threes. You're not doing anything." And today and this season, I'm talking about going to the rim with confidence. And so we're the draft is very finicky. If you have one bad season, your stock drops, right? I mean, it just drops. So, he's definitely not going to be 5th round next season. That's what
Well, to that point, Jay Free, to that point, Ozzy, he drafted Isaiah in the top 5 picks, right? That couple seasons back, right?
uh,
So we came in with the notion already, Isaiah's going. This is how Isaiah's going to be. The way that Isaiah was this finals was the way that Ozzy went into it, right? And slowly but surely, Zay went from first, then to 3rd round, and to 4th round,
yeah,
and then 5th, where he is now. I mean, absolute steal, and credit to Zay for not
yeah,
letting that get to his mentality, into his confidence, and trying to be better than he's been in a couple years. And
yeah.
so shout out to him,
You
man.
guys, you guys know this in the draft because all of you have done the draft, man. Like getting a late round steal makes your team. That's part of what a draft league is. It's part of like the secret to your sauce, right? Like getting somebody in the 4th, 5th round that probably should have gone 2nd or 3rd. So Isaiah in the 5th round was, you see it, Gandy, in major team.
And because we're talking a lot about his offense, but his defense and rebounding has been like such a relief. You know what I'm saying? The guy's skying for it, swatting blocks, and Manny, they did great. Manny had a great season, rookie of the year, but he was talking that talk early. And I had asked him, I had inquired, Manny, it's first quarter, isn't it early to be talking? And he said, no. And I said, okay. Later, fast forward the 2nd, 3rd quarter, and Isaiah did like this volleyball spike that was like almost a hate crime, I felt. So, I do want to note out there, it's not officially NMAA sanctioned, but we are going to have shirts, what they gon' say now, just for those who believed in the cause, so just look out for that.
So Tony just wrote a comment, right? He just said, maybe it was Kuka. Brian Brown was a steal and Zay was a steal. Honestly, there's a lot to this right here, because the coach, right, that usually drafts Tony Koo goes ahead and is thinking high potential, high ceiling, right? So think about it. You get Tony. Okay, just look at the teams that's had Tony in the past, right? We're gonna look at Tauheed. They got Debo, Adam Dorsey, Tony Koo, Jamal, Christian Solis.
Stacked.
A lot of guys that were steals,
Right.
right? So the coach is going to that season, I want the highest, potential return. Another one, blessed, right? We got Tony in the 3rd, Brian in the 4th, or Brian in the 5th.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then this season, Abdel doing the same thing. Gendy, BG,
right.
Tony, Zay, and then he's thinking, high return again with Daniel, just or maybe they just playing with, maybe that's it, bro. Maybe that's it. But I think I think a lot of it also has to do with the coach's mentality too, going into
Yeah,
that season,
it
and what they
does.
want.
It does. So like if you go just based off like fantasy value, I'm going to use fantasy, like your talent, your rating, like your ranking, right? Like Tony's ranked like 13th and the 14th in the league. Then yeah, he should be going that high. But just to your point, Ramsey, every coach has a blueprint in their mind of the guys they want to draft. And they often will go for those specific guys, which is why you see some of these really good players drop, right? And so it's just part of the whole, why what makes MMA so fun. Like the guys that you draft, can you gel and make it work together? Great example is my team again. Not to use them example is I got all this talent and we just couldn't make it work together as a team. So, those guys that can do that, they're the ones that have success. And Malik was able to do it. You did it, Ramsey, with Blessed. Tawheed was able to do it. So, yeah.
Hey, and then let's talk about just playoff performers, because playoff Q is a different animal out there as well, man. So, and it wasn't just this finals game. Well, he had 5 threes in this game. The game prior, he played well. The game against us, he played well. I mean, like Q, when it's on the line, man, like he's tough, man. Like he really steps up to the plate, and I thought he had a brilliant playoff run. Isaiah, obviously, in the final game, Tony in the final game. What I love to see is when the lights are the brightest, when the pressure's on, like who actually brings it, who actually steps up, to that moment. And that's one of the funnest parts about, just playoff basketball in general, whether it's NMAA or NBA, like that's the storylines, are made there. And so shout out to everybody who came out and performed, everybody who hit big shots. It's always fun to see that. I didn't really think that anybody, shied away. Like we saw a lot of people play well, and even if it wasn't, you going out there and making plays, it was calls, for example, from coaches. So in the clutch, man, that's when you see what people are made out of, man. So shout out to everybody who had a successful, playoff run, and for Malik, man, to pull through and to win it all.
Yeah.
That's credit due to everybody on that team.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I just had to go back right now, just double check. Did Isaiah really go in the 5th? And yeah, he did. Actually, that is really crazy. To be honest with you, that's really crazy.
But, I mean, again, that's the draft stock, right? It's just like
Yeah.
your stock market. You go up and down, man. He's been falling. He's gonna go up. Obviously, he's really gonna go up.
Ozzy, it's not the stock market, it's crypto. You know what I'm saying? Those are Dogecoin over here. The value goes up and down in a day off nothing.
Crypto is like a 24-hour spike, 24, and the next day is crashes, right? That's
exactly.
Yeah.
You might be worth 80 grand and then $2 the next day.
I know.
But Sid had mentioned a question. He said, look, why did the ball not get back to Q? And I think, what's relevant in that conversation as well is, why did the ball not get back to Fellow when he was cooking? So I think that if you're going to summarize semi-pro, feed the hot hand. And I think that's something that really worked well for us because of the willingness of the guys on our team to say, oh, this guy's hot right now. This guy's hot right now. And ultimately, if you can learn to feed the hot hand, I don't really know why the ball didn't go more to Q, because he was a problem out there. Dude was like Steph Curry all of a sudden. It's just like, it's not even just his shooting. He's shooting. If you go up on it, he's driving, he's dishing, just facilitating everything. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on
your guys' zone, though? He was torching your zone, and then when you guys switched to man, he started to not be as aggressive, because like he was taking the open shots, and then he was also attacking the closeouts in the 2-3, and that's when Q's most dangerous, right? And then in the man, you guys showed him different different matchups. I think Gindy, you were guarding him for a stretch too, so.
Yeah.
I like that, showing different looks on defense, different, man assignments on, when you guys were playing man D, and that it really got the ball out of Q's hands at that point.
There's a play at the end of the game. I think I saw 72-70. So Q brings it across, and then he gets pressured. He gives it over to Jamal, and once he gives it to Jamal, he runs behind him to get the ball back. He doesn't get it back. Jamal tries to go against 2 guys. It's possible Jamal just didn't see Q. This is where the pressure comes in. The pressure makes players rush. So it's a high pressure moment. I'm watching it right now. I just watched it, the replay, and Jamal drives, and this is where he tried to force it against 2 guys. Doesn't see Q, trying to get the ball back, and then he lost his balance and threw a layup that that missed. Big play. That was one of the big plays at the end of the game.
My thing is, you haven't done that all season. You know what I'm saying? especially like trying to dribble it out, boom, 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 boom. It was like I think it was going on for a good 15, 20 seconds, of him dribbling and
Yeah.
Q just running back and forth, a sprinter trying to get the ball. It just sucks that,
Yeah.
Jamal had a absolute amazing playoffs, an amazing game up to that point, right?
Fourth quarter
And
struggle.
then an amazing season. And literally in the last moments, he
Yeah.
goes ahead and does that.
Rough
And
fourth quarter.
another one too, fellow. I think they were down 2 points, and he's been going up with all the low post shots, little floaters the whole game. And then at the very end of the game, he wants to go ahead and do a little dish dump off to Q for an
Yeah.
easy turnover. And it's like
Yep.
it's that mental collapse, and credit to Malik for the pressure and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's tough.
It's tough. I'm watching these last plays. Well, all right. Comments are still coming in. We're an hour in. How you guys feeling, man? Season was fun for all of us. It was like for me, and it was great. And it's good to see a lot of storylines, rookie coaches doing their thing, and Kareem having his first ever losing season as well in semi-pro, and so pissed off he's taking a season off. So we made him change sports. Now he's going to soccer. Like, geez.
That's funny.
I'm bummed, man. I'm really bummed, and I'm not gonna be able to play. It's great that we're having another semi-pro season, but I'm like, all right, hey, this is the first time in like a long time where I'm like, all right, let me go back and play a soccer season, and I have trips for work coming up and vacations and whatnot. I'm like, man, like this is gonna be tough, man. Like if there's a semi-pro season, right? Like I need these 4 months, to be off, and so like I'm so bummed I'm not gonna play. But man, there's going to be a ton of new storylines this season. I think we're adding some good players. I won't put that out there. I don't know who all knows and whatnot. New coaches. So I'm gonna be following, man. From the sidelines. I'll be watching the podcasts. I'll be watching the YouTube videos. I'll be on the Insta page. I love NMAA, man, and so congrats to Malik. Congrats to everybody this season who got out there and got, recognized this season. And we love this league. So shout out to everybody involved too. Ozzy, Dev, everybody, all the staff that help out, everybody who's on video. Man, we all pitch in, man. We all love this league. And alhamdulillah, man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that we have this. And it's honestly, for me, it's my highlight of the weekend. A lot of people have said that too. So long may this continue. And man, I love you guys, man, for real.
Yeah, love you too, man.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. NMAA is that life raft. Things get crazy, things get hectic, stressful, work, family, etc. And it's just so nice, like just you come in the gym, it's that sense of relief. Like everything else is done, it's outside that gym. Here it's just you're seeing your brothers, you're playing ball, you're having laughs. You know what I'm saying? You're making memories. So I'm definitely grateful for that as well. And certainly thank Ozzy and Dev and the whole team for their work. And look forward to many seasons to come, God willing.
I'll say this. Like with this league, man, they were asking me, yo, who do you want to win? Malik or Winston Nice? This person, this one. Honestly, with this league, man, I'm just a fan of the players. You know what I'm saying? I love to see certain players succeed. I don't care about teams and this and that. It's really the players that I really, that's what I want. That's what I'm always, kind of rooting for. And every time, honestly, like when people say that about the NBA, I'm a player, I'm a fan of the players, not a team. I'm like, yo, you guys are crazy. But with NMAA, that's the type of love I have for the guys, the players, everyone out there. So credit to y'all, credit to Ozzy for starting the league, and let's get on to the next season, man. Because I'm done fishing. I'm trying to get out there, get crazy,
That's what I'm saying. The season starts now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the spring. And I just want to put that message out there. That's the exciting part. There's so much room for growth in this league. And we've seen players, really rise through the ranks. Like for me, that's the fun part, right? Like you can continue to get better at basketball, and it's exciting, to kind of work through that process. So I think there's a lot of those guys who can continue to significantly improve.
Yes, I can.
So yeah, you're right, Gendy. It's coming back soon. It's 42 days away. The spring league. Some big dates to remember. March 10th is the deadline to get your payments in. I think I'm up to like 104 guys for 72 spots. Obviously, that number will get trimmed when we get to the payment deadline, but you're gonna want to get it in. March 13th is what we're tentatively planning for the showcase. So you're gonna want the new players, if they're watching this, you're gonna want to show up to that. Make sure you're registered. The lottery might be by this weekend, so stay tuned for that draft lottery. I personally am looking forward to that because I need a redemption season like now. And then we're back April 8th. So, and then what I'll end with is a big tease. We have to lock it down, but we are expecting a brand new #1 overall pick for next season. It won't be Amir. I can guarantee you that.
It's me, baby. It's me.
Amir's always my #1 pick, for the record.
Amir's begging us not to take him #1 anymore. All right, guys, we signing off. We good?
Yes, sir.
Then we're good.
Hey, God bless.